you from the Yard Dawgs Podcast studio. A show for the fans, by the fans. Talking all things Cleveland Browns. From our mic to your ears. With your hosts, Jason Hand, Mikey P, and Ian Cold Train Coldiron.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
And welcome. You are now in the yard. Welcome to the Yard Dawgs Podcast, a show for the fans, by the fans. This is season 4, episode 134. I'm your host, Mikey P. The Yard Dawgs Podcast is brought to you by Network 216. To check out our Ohio sports content, just make sure you subscribe to our Network 216 YouTube channel. And of course, joining me tonight is my co-host Cold Train and special guest with us, Casey Kinnaman tonight. How we doing tonight, fellas?
I'm here, just trying to get these scars to heal from last night, and we'll see if we can't get some therapy tonight.
Yeah, this is very much going to be a therapy session for sure. How you doing, Coltrane?
Man, I just feel like a zombie, bro. I mean, I think the thing about a Monday Night Football game is if they win, dude, you go into work with that Browns coat on, you're feeling good. What's up, dude? You're all social. All of a sudden, you got energy. You take that L, man. When I got to work today, I was a damn zombie. I'll be honest with you. I didn't do a damn thing. I mean, I did some stuff, but let's just be honest. I wasn't necessarily on my A game with that L. And I think what made it worse for us as fans was the Chubb injury. It wasn't just the L. It was like extra. It was more. It was like your soul got ripped out last night. So I don't know about you fellas, but when I walked into work today, it was a rough day at the office. Thank God the day went fast, but man, definitely want to catch up on some sleep tonight after that whole debacle, bro. So,
yeah,
but I'm here.
For sure. Well, we're going to definitely get into that and dive into the game last night and the upcoming game this week. But before we do that, I wanted to kick it off with a little icebreaker question. Something I've been watching on Twitter was that whole Bengals thing when the Bengals were saying the Browns aren't really the Browns, the Ravens should be the Browns and all this stuff. It started making me think, if in 1999 when they granted the franchise to come back, if they would not have been able to keep the moniker the Cleveland Browns, what team name, if you could have picked a team name, would you have picked? We'll start with you, Coltrane.
I'm just going to be funny, just off the top of my head. I would say Cleveland cursed. Because until they prove me otherwise, dude, I'm getting on that train. Hey, you old-timers, we're cursed. This team just cursed. No matter what we do, we're going to lose. I had a feeling with that Monday night game, we're going to lose. So, yeah, Cleveland cursed. That's my answer.
That's a good one. That's an interesting one. What about you, Casey?
So when I first saw the question, the first thing that popped in my head was Bombers, Cleveland Bombers. And I have no reason behind that other than that's just the thing that popped in my dome. It has the same alliteration, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Bombers. You could probably come up with a sick logo off of it, and it wouldn't be biting anyone's style. Wish I had something more, that actually ties into the city. But when you do that, you start bringing in statues and everything else, and I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at Cleveland Bombers.
I kind of like the Bombers. I always thought, if they couldn't get the Browns back, I thought they'd go with something like the Dogs, like the Cleveland Dogs, but like DAWGS kind of iteration of it, just because of the dog thing. We're a unique team because we have multiple mascots. Like we have Brownie the Elf. Which, if you actually dig into the Brownie the Elf lore, maybe that is why we're cursed, because we originally got rid of it. There are a lot of I know in Iceland, they pay tribute to elves and all this stuff. They believe that if you don't, that you can be cursed and they will bring bad luck. So, maybe we need to just get rid of the dog moniker at this point and just go full on Brownie.
Just elf out.
Just elf out, man. Jamar Chase would appreciate it. So speaking of Elf, I know, and homage, I think Coltrane's rocking an homage shirt right now with the new dog logo.
Yeah, new dog logo for sure.
The Yard Dawgs Podcast and Network 216 are proud partners with Homage, the apparel company. If you haven't tried Homage yet, you are missing out. Just remember, Homage is always coming out with on-point, cutting-edge sports apparel. Showing support for your team doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. As a bonus, you will get a special discount using our link to shop at Homage. Just remember to support the show and do it in style by shopping for all your favorite sports team gear at Homage. Find the link on our website, www.network216ohio.com, or look for Homage links on Twitter at Yard Dawgs Pod. And don't forget to shop Homage today. Coltrane, you want to kick it off with our YouTube?
Yes, sir. If you want to support the show, you can subscribe to the Network 216 YouTube channel for free. And a lot of you are already subscribed. Thank you for watching and viewing us. We are working hard to bring Cleveland sports content and more shows. All right, join the network. We're on your one-stop shop for your Ohio sports content. Also, you can support the show by subscribing to Network 216 on patreon.com, with your subscription of only $5 per month. You'll get access to our private Discord chat, weekly film study with Roach, Jacob Roach, and exclusive giveaways. We appreciate all the support, guys. Honestly, I do get a lot of responses, a lot of DMs, just, from people that watch the show. Obviously, we get a lot of interactive action on the YouTube. Are you on that tonight, Mikey? You got your comments? If they come in, you'll be able to read them. Okay, cool.
Yeah, MC Lawrence, Drew and Brick City.
Already in the house. All right, my guys. All right, but anyways, thanks for who are subscribing now. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button because, like I said, it is free. So.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, fellas. Got MC Lawrence, still says he's sad from last night. Drew and Brick City, yes. Jason is doing all right. He's just got some work stuff going on. He will be back with us very shortly. Let's see. I saw somebody said the Rockers would have been a cool name.
Cleveland Rockers, yeah. That was wasn't there a WNBA team?
Yeah,
that was.
WNBA team. Oh, Drew also said the Bombers were a Dayton hockey team originally too. Also, so that's kind of cool. And then of course MC said if we had to change the team name now, it would be the Chubbs. Yeah, which is what we're about to talk about. Unfortunately, there was a terrible injury last night. You had to witness on Monday night. Nick Chubb. They officially ruled him out for the year. I mean, I think we pretty much all knew that was the case last night. How did you guys feel? When that took place first. Like, did you think it was that serious at first, or how about you, Casey?
Absolutely gutted, man. Just gutted. You can see by his reaction because his teammates tried to help him up and he refused it. So something's wrong right then and there with Chubb, And then within like 15 seconds, they said they weren't going to show the replay. You just knew it was catastrophic. Now, Twitter didn't follow suit. It was all over the timeline immediately. And I'm a guy who's suffered nasty knee injuries. It's hard for me to watch. Even harder, man, not for nothing, dude. I've been following this team as a diehard since I was 9 years old. Nicholas J. Chubb is by far my favorite Brown of all time. I mean, just the reverence I have for the way he goes about his job. I just thought we were so lucky to have that Hall of Fame caliber player like Nick Chubb, like embodies everything that you want a football player to be. And I don't know, man, just gutted for him to have to go through this exact same injury that he had in college, ACL, MCL, PCL on a knee dislocation in 2015, and to build himself up to what he was able to do in the pros. That's unprecedented by then. To ask him now at the age of 27 to do that all over again. And I know if there's anyone who's going to put in the work, put his head down and really just get it done, and it's going to be him. But my God, man. I was absolutely gutted. And even if we would have got the win, which obviously we'd have a different feeling about it, but I would still just be – today was a hollow day, man. Like I said, that's my favorite Brown of all time, and I don't know if we'll see him in that jersey again. So,
what about you, Coltrane?
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it, I think I just tried to avoid the situation. My wife was talking about it happened. I'm watching it, but I'm not really watching it because I'm just like, no, there's no way he's done. There's no way he's out. And then my wife's, giving me some feedback too, like, oh, it looks horrible. She starts pulling up the Twitter. I see the video. At that point, it was just like, this is like, again, I was just still in denial, man. And now that this isn't happening, I'm waiting for Watson to just, I'm like, all right, boys, let's just get us out of this game. Get us out of this game. F everything else. Let's just get out of this game. And it really, and that's what I talked about earlier in the show. I think it's affecting all of us Browns fans. I know there's a lot of, even the names you said, there's some new listeners today. People just need this therapy just because I think we all can agree we're hurting, man. As a fan base, as a franchise, he said it above, perfect, right on the button and from the heart, good stuff. But that's how we all feel. We all came into work today. Again, it had nothing to do with the loss. We're 1-1. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're ready to throw in the towel now, we don't want you on this Browns train anyways. But we walked in with just that it had nothing to do with the wins or the loss. You're just thinking about Chubb. And you're just thinking about, the offense really, like they say he was the engine. I mean, I'll make a quick joke to get us out of the seriousness. Stefanski's playing Boobie Miles' playbook. I mean, if you guys know the Permian Panthers story, when Boobie Miles went down, they had no clue what to do. Stefanski was pale as a ghost. I mean, he looked like he lost his best friend. And trust me, I'm with him, like, I'm not saying it's not merited, but man, dude, it's like our whole offense rides on Chubb. So I know a lot of people were quick to tweet like, "Oh, it's over." I mean, I'm not ready to say all that. It's not over. It's 2 games in, but it's a huge hurt. Just to. You won't, like Stefanski says himself, you won't replace a player like that, even if you get Hunt in here, Kareem Hunt in here. It's just it'll never be the same. And I hope what he's saying above is not, or Casey's is what he's saying above is true, is not true, because man, I have been going through that idea in my mind as well, where everyone just keeps saying in the season, we don't know, man. Like once he starts recovering and stuff like that, this is where this is what he's talking about. When players make those decisions where they're kind of like, going through therapy, they're like, I just don't know if I want to go. I mean, sometimes they do that. They're done, or it's just he's so injured, it's so bad it comes out, to where, I don't know, I can't see the Browns cut. Anyways, that's a whole different topic. But anyways, a rough day at the office literally for all of us at work. Because that's in the back of your mind. You're thinking about, and then obviously, hopefully, we'll talk about this on the show today. Where do we go from here? Where to go now? What are we to do now with Chubb out?
Yeah, with Chubb going down, that hurt last night, and I didn't even think it was that serious at first. Like I saw him, he was kind of laying on the ground, and he looked like he was pulling his pant legs up. And I didn't even notice it. I thought, maybe he's just adjusting his thigh pad or something like that. And then the corner of my eye noticed that the kneecap was not in the normal place. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, God. And first thing I thought was, I remember watching Willis McGahee's injury in that Ohio State national championship game. And I was like, this must be like a McGahee type of injury. And it definitely was. And it hurt because Nick Chubb is like, Joe Thomas is one of my all-time favorite players. Nick Chubb is probably number 2. We have a lot in common. Like, he's a huge Batman guy. I'm a huge Batman guy. I'll kind of show this. Like, this guy made this. It's Chubb, and it's got the bats in the background.
Oh, yeah. Sick, man.
And I'm just like, and like, Chubb is my favorite player. I mean, my fantasy team's name is the Hot Chubb Time Machine. I always draft Chubb. So, like, today was just the loss sucked, but that sucked even more. Just seeing a guy like that, I mean, there's so many guys in this league. When people talk about karma, it's like, man, why did you feel bad because it's like the good guys in this league, they don't deserve that kind of stuff. Yet you have some of these guys that are clowns in this league that never experience injuries or go through any of that, and just a shame to see, man. But definitely prayers out to Nick Chubb. I hope he can come back and play again. But if anybody can do it, he can, man. Because that guy just puts his head down and goes to work. I read that the surgery went well and everything. He already had surgery and everything, so I was like, wow. But that leads us to our next, bit of news. I saw Kareem Hunt came in for a visit today. What are you guys' thoughts on if the Browns do sign him and bringing him back, Coltrane?
I love it, man. I mean, I think out of that whole list that I saw, as far as free agent, not trade, I mean, let's be real. We don't have first-round picks. Like, all this Akers, all that other, trades possibility, I think it's out of the question, man. Man, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, just to have him in the building and obviously for a visit, obviously it seemed like he was waiting for the right situation, but like, for me, it just feels like, and I don't want to get like, emotional on you guys, but it's like Nick Chubb was Batman. I always felt like Nick Chubb was Batman and he was Robin. So it's like, it's almost like Robin has to like pick up where Batman left off. Like this could be like what he was talking about. Like this is his reason to get on the field. And of course the paycheck will be nice too, but he has to take over for Chubb. They're boys. I mean, even, outside of the football, man, these guys are like good friends, man. I mean, obviously they had, years together. Robin's got to finish the job, bro. So I would love to see Kareem Hunt. I mean, honestly, Leonard Fournette, names like that, I'm good. I'd take Kareem Hunt because he's familiar with our offense, and I just think he'd be a great asset to this team, and it would just be like that spark that, like, right now we're all dead. Our souls are taken out of us. Like, we're into zombie mode. We need that little spark right now that Hunt can bring to us. So I hope that he, maybe today or tomorrow we get some news. So,
how about you, Casey? What's your thoughts on Hunt?
Well, I was actually asked this question on Sports for CLE earlier, and it makes the most sense. The familiarity with the organization, with the playbook to a degree. I know they've switched some things, but he knows the terminology. He'll be able to step right in kind of seamlessly. But the most important thing is his relationship with Stump Mitchell. That's who he's going to be reporting to. That's who's going to decide when he goes in, what kind of role he fits, and he's already got a rapport with him. And I just think, I think they're content with Jerome Ford being the early down back starting off. But they have no veterans, man. It's Pierre Strong and Jerome Ford. Those are 2 second-year players. They need some veteran guidance. Someone who's been there, someone who can especially like be a bridge between Stump Mitchell and these younger running backs, and I think Kareem would be a perfect fit for that. I do think that Andrew Berry does kind of lean towards late round trades. Like if he can trade someone for like a 5th or a 6th, I think that'd be on the table. But are the Rams going to entertain a late round pick for Cam Akers? I doubt it. Maybe Cordarrelle Patterson, J.D. McKissick. These guys are on the table. But if you got someone like Kareem Hunt with familiarity, why not? And the Coltrane, what he was saying about Kareem being Robin. Well, this is the origin of Nightwing. Then, this is Robin going out on his own. I'd be all for it, man. Let's print the shirts now. Let's go. And if anyone's going to run hard for Nick Chubb, it will be Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would love to see him, bring back Kareem Hunt. I know I saw some people say like Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that's a realistic option.
It's not.
No.
You don't have a first-round pick still next year. You're not going to mortgage a first-round pick after that. And I think the Colts are still holding out for a first-round pick next year, or maybe like 2 2s, and I just don't see it happening. Kareem Hunt is more of a viable option, or even Cam Akers if the Rams decide to move on for him. I'm not a huge Cam Akers guy. There's just been too many like.
He's in and out of favor all the time. He's the guy. He's not the guy. He is the guy.
I'm not a big fan of that for sure. Other news from last night, Greg Newsome right now is day-to-day with an elbow injury. So we'll have to monitor that as we go into this week. We just kind of talked about that. MC Lawrence actually brought up a point earlier about hating those white jerseys. And I didn't even think about this. Those white jerseys have been responsible for the Christmas Eve game that Mayfield had the abysmal game where, again, the defense played lights out, and we should have won that game.
Merry Christmas, Browns.
He dislocated his shoulder wearing those same uniforms against the Bears. And then that happened last night. I'm like, man, maybe the white uniforms are cursed, as you were talking about.
It sucks because it's a clean look, but, man, you can't argue with results.
No.
We can't be sending guys out. We wear them again, I believe, week 6 against the 49ers.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
When we come back out of the bye, that's the next game we wear them.
See, hopefully we can turn that luck around because I thought it was a clean look. Like it
it's a very clean look,
TV.
man. But
a lot of people I know
always
that aren't
associated
Browns
with
fans
Chubb
like it.
now.
Yeah, it would have looked better with a dub. I mean, I think that's just easy
Absolutely.
for all of us.
Absolutely.
Amen.
You know, so now we're just like kind of they're all right.
There's something else that came up, and I saw a lot of this people saying, and I don't know. Sometimes is it just Browns fans' frustration? Like we see it as. Do you guys feel that the hit from Minkah Fitzpatrick was dirty? I saw a lot of people saying it was dirty. Some people saying it's a football move. I saw even Ryan Clark chimed in and said, there wasn't a dirty hit. And then somebody asked him, and he said, well, didn't you have dirty hits? He said, oh, but the dirty hits I had were all done on purpose. And then it's like they started showing all these Steelers games where Steelers players they almost took out Alex Smith in 1 year. Like they dove at the back of his like 2 or 3 times in the same game. And, I never want to accuse anybody of being dirty. And I, looking at it, I feel like it was a football play. I think he was just going low. That's kind of what they do nowadays. The NFL has made these guys so afraid to go high because of penalties that they just naturally all go low now. So what about your thoughts on the situation, Casey? Did you feel it was dirty, or was it just
not in real time? In real time, I didn't see anything dirty with it. It was, Christ, man, you're trying to get Nick Chubb down. I mean, that's like by all means necessary. And not to mention, he's made Minkah Fitzpatrick look foolish a few times. So and in those instances, Minkah was diving for him and just, Chubb wasn't nowhere to be found. But when you slow-mo it, it looks dirty. But I think you can do that with any hit when you slow-mo it. I think that's the keys. But in real time, it didn't look dirty. It looked like just a bang-bang play, man. It just happened to be his leg was planted right at the right time as he was coming in. To time that on purpose would be an art in itself. I mean, how fast these plays happen.
I agree.
Was he? I don't know, man. I played football. Like, you're trying to get people off their feet. Whatever you got to do. When I played, you could horse collar. Like, was it dirty? Not on my mind. I was trying to get a guy down. Now that would be a dirty play. So as the game evolves, I don't know. It's a fast action play. I'm going to say I don't think it was intentionally dirty. I just think that he was just trying to tackle Nick Chubb, and that's dangerous in itself.
What about you, Coltrane?
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily the word, that it was dirty, but Steelers players in general are taught to play like that. I mean, that's part of their, aura or whatever. Like they're, hard hits and face, like, remember that shot Colt McCoy got where he almost got knocked out helmet to helmet. I mean, they do this stuff. So I'm not going to say it was dirty. I'm going to say it seemed extra. I agree with what Casey was saying. When it was slowed down, it just looked like there was a tad little. And my thing is, as you guys know, I'm still playing flag football, adult flag, and I know, if a quarterback makes me mad or he okey dokes me on a play or two before, we all played high school sports. We've all been known to give a little if you're frustrated. Obviously, you just marked him off. So again, I'm not one of these, suspend Minkah, all that stuff. It's a football play. I get all that. It just makes me so upset about that freaking Steelers. Like, just that's what literally that's what happened in my opinion last night. They just kicked the shit out of us, man, and they hit us like that all night long. And it's like all I wanted was just one drive for these guys to be like, hey, you know what? I don't like you hitting me this hard. I'm going to do this. And it just never happened, man. But yeah, back to that hit. I just think that they, I wouldn't say dirty, but again, a little bit extra. I don't think he meant to break his leg, basically, but he definitely meant to take him out. And that's what I'm trying to, I guess my point of this whole thing. Steelers players are known to just take players out. It's reality. There's video clips after video clips of over the years. And that's just what makes me hate them so much, dude. And it's just whether it was dirty or not, it's the fucking Steelers, dude. So it's like, man, that hate just gets a little bit more black, especially with Chubb. So whether it was dirty or not, just it's there, and it's just it had to be the Steelers, dude. If it's like the Houston Texans, who cares? It's the Steelers. So you're forced to at least think something went awry there. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I can see that too. And they always have played with an edge when they play. Like they're a little, they throw some cheap shots, but that's kind of their MO.
it's their MO.
Tomlin is that way. Like if any defense, has the personality of their head coach or defense coordinator, it's definitely the Steelers. I mean, you can kind of see our defense taking on Jim Schwartz's personality. Like they play with a little bit of edge. Like Grant Delpit is out there blowing people up.
Yeah.
And he's flying all over the place. Like Grant Delpit looks like a totally comfortable, different player. Now he looks like the player everyone thought he could be before he had that injury bug hit him this last year at LSU.
Hey, but we talked about that on the show, Mikey. If you remember last season, that's what you call an unleashed player. Coach shitty coach is out, good coach comes in, gets his hands on some of these guys. Unleashed. He unleashed up. He fixed Pandora's box, and now he just picks and plays Delpit, and he's a star.
Yeah.
Don't you love it?
And the defense played good enough to win last night. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we only gave up really one touchdown, and that was kind of a blown coverage. And I felt like after that, Schwartz was like, "Yeah, I might never call a zone again," because it always happens. Like it's always Denzel Ward passing someone off. It seems to be in that zone coverage where the mistake happens. But other than that, I thought the defense was lights out, played good. They stuffed the run. They had a couple running plays here and there, but other than that, what did we give up? Defense last night, we give up 255 total yards. Like if you tell most teams you're going to give up 255 yards in a game,
55 of that's the ground. They didn't, and that's what the Steelers do. And you're held them to 55, man. I'll say this about the Steelers: whoever the hell's choosing their personnel and is playing Harris over Warren, God bless you. Every time Warren was getting the ball, it's like, he's different. He's fast. I'd rather face Najee Harris 10 times out of 10. I mean, he had like 2 decent runs all night. He's never had a run over 30 yards in his NFL career. Like I wouldn't worry about him. He does look slow to me.
Slow.
And then Warren shot out of a damn cannon, man. Like I'm glad they didn't play that kid.
I don't remember him looking like when he was at Alabama. He always looked dynamic. He was pass catching. It's like they run them in the ground so much at Alabama that when they get to the NFL, they're done. It's the only person that's done the opposite is Derrick Henry. But when he was at Alabama, he was actually sparingly used. They didn't use him that much. They ran Ingram into the ground. So we had some struggles last night. I kind of wanted to talk about the offense, get your guys' feelings on this. The offense struggled. Penalties, turnovers. We threw for 210 yards passing, 198 yards rushing, gave up 6 sacks, 4 turnovers, which resulted in 14 points. I'll start with you, Casey. Is it all on Watson? Is it on Stefanski? Is it on the offensive line? Where do you think the offensive struggles are coming from this year?
D, all the above. All right, I know Watson's the elephant in the room, but let's start where it needs to matter. Man, the offensive line got their asses kicked last night. They lost the battle of physicality at the point of attack, and they didn't even have Cam Hayward. And you were seeing like Larry Ogunjobi kind of have his way with Teller. You know what I mean? Like honestly, I was looking at the offensive line, the one player that I wasn't discouraged by was DeJuan Jones, and he's blocking freaking T.J. Watt. Like that is the worst assignment you're going to draw as a rookie your first start. So it starts up front, man, especially against a team like the Steelers, like Coltrane said. They're known for physicality, man. That's what they are. And on paper, you're superior. It didn't prove that way last night. That offensive line could not pass block to save anything. But Watson's got a ton going on, man, and it's basic shit. It is his eyes and his feet are not married at all. He's late to his reads. When he actually does hit dudes that are open, it's like at the end of the route and they're getting no yards after catch. He was playing super low IQ football, man, on like critical downs, And during his post game, he's talking about he has to get the ball out faster. I'll settle with getting the ball out, period. He was holding that thing, man, and you cannot do that against that defensive line. That exposes your offensive line for more holding calls. Only bad things are going to happen. I get he's trying to make plays, but, man, sometimes – and this is after he's already evaded pressure. He's still holding on to the ball. Dude, get rid of it. We can't keep playing these games where we're 3rd and 12. You know what I mean? Like that, you're not going to win like that, especially against a team like the Steelers who can tee off on you when they know what you're going to do. The one thing I'll say about Stefanski is, man, he's too predictable. His play calling is just too predictable. And when you have it, like the most indicting thing I can think of was after the game, T.J. Watt did a post game, and he said on that strip sack fumble, we knew what they were going to run. We're 2 weeks into this. This is supposedly a new offense. So how the hell do they know what you're going to run? Because you haven't broke your tendencies, man. He's still doing the same stuff. And some of it's, I mean, if you look at like the all-22, man, there are dudes running free all over the field that Watson is not seeing. But the predictability will get you killed in this league. You won't be able to protect Watson. They got to put some training wheels on the kid, and that's not what you want to hear out of a $230 million quarterback. But until he starts seeing the game right and the game looks like it's slowed down for him, give me some quick stuff to Elijah Moore. Give me some quick stuff to David Njoku. Because the running game's not – Nick Chubb's not there. He's not walking through that door. You need to make your pass game an extension of your run game, and you can do that with the quick hitters. You know, he's not seeing the game right now. And for better or for worse, he's your quarterback, and you're going to have to figure it out with him. So it's going to be a short week, and you're facing a Tennessee team that is a miniature version of Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I mean, so you're going to be faced with the same problems all over again. So they got to get it figured out quick, or Sunday could get ugly.
Yeah. What about you, Coltrane?
Yeah, I think it's just a mixture of both, Watson and Stefanski. I mean, you guys know as on the show here, I'm a Watson diehard, man. I love Watson, but I'm a man to admit that I just, I don't know what it is with him. He seems timid back there. He even that game, like his facial expression is like, whether it's scared, whether it's just emotional. I mean, he was doing stuff that, a couple of the face masks that he gave that I know one of those two, by the way, I'm going to throw it out there. It seemed to have gotten caught. I will give him that. But
on the sideline.
One of them was, legit. Something's on his mind. I don't know what it is. It goes back to, it is Stefanski and him working, like maybe Stefanski needs to simplify. I mean, basically what he's talking about above, maybe he needs to simplify the offense, and that's all I wanted last night was those quick outs. Like, why it seemed like a little bit of Freddie Kitchenish too. Like there was a couple plays where I was like, why are we waiting 30 seconds for this play to develop? Like there's a lot going on there, like a lot of route trees. And it was just like, okay, like what are we complicating things for? Like, especially with Watson and the rust that he has. I mean, at the end of the day, he still has rust, I'm not excusing him. It's just make it easy for the dude, So I think it's a mixture of both. Like I'm not leaving anybody. I'm a Watson guy. I'm not leaving anybody to not blame here. I think Stefanski and him have to be better. The performance that they showed with, honestly, I watched that game, fellas. I wasn't really that upset because it was like any fan just wants that one chance. We had 3-4 chances at the end of the game to just pound it in. And it's take the victory from them and make those fans go back to their cars sad for once in their 21 damn years. I mean, it's just whatever they're doing, it ain't working. And like I said, it's a mixture of Stefanski's play calm, but also, like I'm saying, I'm gonna propose that again. I need to start seeing a confident Watson. Like I need to really I want to start really seeing some confident, quick stuff, move down the field. I haven't seen, and that's what's really sad or scary here, guys. We haven't seen one decent deep ball. Those passes is it more? I mean, they're not even, good win. They're not even close. It's like, dude, triple covered, and it's like in the end zone, like way off. So it's just like, I know he's been slicing and dicing it in practice and training camp. That's all we heard about all summer, but I think he just like honestly, and even in that whole game, I was telling him this. He needs to settle down too. Like you can tell he's really like it's and it's think about it. That's $230 million of pressure on your back, fellas. Like He knows. He reads all the tabloids and what we write on Twitter. He reads this shit, dude. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with the kid, but I really hope that they figure this out soon, man, because they're already calling for his head. I mean, especially half of the fan base on Twitter, they're already calling for his head, man. I don't know. At this point, I just want him to do well just for himself, for his personal confidence, like, come on, dude, get a couple wins, bro. Like, let the fans talk highly of you. It's just like, as soon as he loses, the fans go to that dark place and they just start, whatever they can say about the guy. It's just like, dude, I need him to play better. We need him to play better, and we need Stefanski to just, like I said, throw out the Bowie Miles playbook. Nick Chubb ain't here. Mix this shit up, bro, because I'm sure he read that quote too from JJ Watt. They've got you figured out, buddy, and it's week 2, so you might want to throw the old Denny's menu and get a new Denny's menu. Honestly.
Yeah, I think you hit the head on the nail. Hit the nail on the head with the $230 million and the fact that he does read stuff on Twitter. Deshaun Watson could help himself immensely. I would delete all of my social media. I would stop whatever you're doing with this quarterback coach who has to talk nonsense. I mean, you don't see Jordan Palmer is also a quarterback's coach and works with a lot of these quarterbacks. You don't see him all over social media telling people like, I'm going to punk you. And this Quincy Avery guy, whatever he is, like, dude,
immature.
Just stop being immature because you're making it worse, dude. Just shut up and move on. Like, get to work and be better. Like, I don't know. I think Deshaun's pressing. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to basically make every play worth $230 million. You don't have to do that. You nickel and dime your way sometimes there. Like, just make the plays that are there, take the plays that are there, play fundamental football. You will win a lot of games. Like, this defense is good. All you really have to do is manage the game with this defense right now. Manage the game. Don't turn the ball over. Yeah. You don't turn the ball over last night, you probably win this game by 3 scores.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You probably win by 3 scores. Like, the Titans a few years ago are the Titans are in every game and they have a mid offense. Like, other than Derrick Henry, like, their offense, you don't have to respect any really their receivers. But they just are in every game, and because they play sound fundamental, they don't turn the ball over, they just don't make dumb mistakes. And if we can do that, we'll win more games than we'll lose, but we'll see. But the offensive line, Casey, you brought up the offensive line. I thought Wyatt Teller last night had one of his worst games too. Like, he was getting abused pass blocking, not his run blocking, but his pass blocking. He got abused a couple times. Jed Wills, when he's good, he's good. And when he's bad, he's like bottom.
The worst.
Nuclear
He's the worst tackle in the league. He's just inconsistent. And I just don't know. Like, you probably have the best offensive line coach coaching him right now. And this might be the best version of him. Like, he may never be a perennial decent left tackle. He might just be a mid-range depth guy.
It's crazy though, because he's regressed every year since his rookie year. His rookie year
was
his best year.
Yeah,
and he just keeps getting worse. So I don't know, like, how's Callahan dealing with that behind the scenes? He sees what we see. You know what I mean? Like, and now what you said a minute ago is how I felt about him like 2 years ago. When he's good, and when he's bad, he's awful. Now, when he's good, he's average.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still just as awful 20% of the time. And that 20% of the time will get your quarterback killed.
Oh, yeah.
And we all see the lack of effort. You know what I mean? And he just has this imaginary whistle in his own head that the play's over and he's done. And it's like, with someone like Watson, the play's never over, man.
No.
Find fucking work, dude. Like, it's there. Get your head on a swivel. Get a helmet on somebody. And it's not because he lacks the physical skills. If you wanted a left tackle, you would go for a guy just like him. Just that same size, that athleticism. His footwork's good. It's just not clicking. And it's year 4, man. And I know we have him under contract next year, but like, they have to start getting a contingency plan now. Like, you can't wait until it's too late, because not for nothing, man. He's had ankle injuries in his past. You could be without him, and then we have Hudson over there, and that's a whole different problem, you know. This offensive line, we give it a lot of credit in the offseason about them being a top 5 unit or top 3 or however you want to label it. They are the highest paid group in the league, and they are not playing like it. They can run block, but their pass blocking is scary. And now with no Nick Chubb, defenses aren't going to have to respect the running game. They can, you know, they can come after you, and there's really nothing they can do unless they figure out some schematics to hold up the protection. And one thing I need to see happen, Stefanski, for the love of Jesus, let Deshaun use his legs. Let him use his legs. That'll open up so much more. You know, I'm not saying we got to develop a Lamar Jackson offense, but dial up some RPOs and let him keep a few, man. That'll keep defensive ends honest. That'll keep them at bay, so they can't just keep pinning their damn ears back. You know, because when you do it like that, Wills doesn't have a damn prayer. And I like what DeJuan Jones, how far he's came so far for being a 4th-round pick. But you also don't want to set him up to fail either, you know. So there needs to be some schematic changes up front, play design, a lot of stuff to go on in the middle of the season after 2 games that we didn't want to be talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm. True. Well, that's where we'll end on, we talked about the offense and, you know, the defense. I saw some issues with special teams. You know, people were worried, you know, DPJ looked wonky back there. Like there was a couple times he didn't catch the ball, it cost him field position. I still think they need to bring in a true punt returner and let DPJ focus on playing receiver. I know where we stand with that because they were hoping Jakeem Grant was going to be healthy this year and be able to play, and then that didn't work out. So, but you know, I thought Hopkins was good again. You know, he had that one miss, but he drilled the 55-yarder. And Pittsburgh's not an easy place to kick in. It's one of the hardest stadiums to kick in, other than Cleveland. So, that special teams was solid last night, but that's kind of where we'll end. You know, with the Browns and Pittsburgh game, we'll move on to talking a little bit about the Browns and Titans game this weekend. What are your keys to the game this weekend, Coltrane? For the Browns
stopping Derrick Henry and Watson utilizing their shitty, backfield like what are they, fourth worst in the NFL right now as far as defensive back end. So hopefully, I mean, even going off what Casey was saying, like what Watson's not doing, hopefully with the easier opponent in the backfield, as far as like on paper, Watson will have, a nice day at the office. I hope. I mean, that's definitely going to help. It's not going to hurt us. But I think that's the keys is to what we were talking about earlier in the show. Like, come up with some different stuff, Stefanski. Nothing nobody's seen before, and work with AVP. Get a fresh offense. Definitely. I mean, you got to utilize the pass game. Even if you sign Hunt tomorrow, he's dressing Sunday. You want him. You know what I mean? I doubt that'll happen. It's so getting so late in the week now, but. Definitely stopping Derrick Henry and defense. Just keep playing how you've been playing. I mean, after one game, I was like, all right, be consistent. After 2 games in a row now, I can say I'm fully fledged in the Jim Schwartz. Not that I was a huge fan already, but I'm fully fledged in the Jim Schwartz club. He looks to be the guy that we've been looking for. Honestly, guys, that defense, the last 2 games, just defensive speaking, that's some of the best defense I've seen in my lifetime. And that's honestly just obviously I'm a little bit younger than you guys, but in my lifetime, this defense is fun to watch. And if they can do that for me every week, at least I'll just enjoy watching the defense, dude. Because I don't know about you guys, I've never had a defense, I can watch anymore where like every snap you think something's going to happen. There's going to be a big play. Just because that's how confident I am in our guys. So that's going to be a key is just keep up the D. Keep it up, Jimmy. Keep it up, baby. And that'll be a key to the game for sure if we can stop the Titans.
What about you, Casey?
Well, to Coltrane's point, that's how I got out of my funk today. I watched the defense back from last night. I didn't watch a damn offensive snap. But I watch that defense, and it's like you can win with that, man. You don't even have to score. 24 points is going to win you games. You know what I mean? Like in this league, that's hard to do. But with the Schwartz Don up the D like that, that's going to be a doable thing. And you're facing like what I consider like you said it, a mid-level offense, man. Tannehill, he can make some plays, but does he strike fear in your heart? Nope. Stop Derrick Henry. You stop Derrick Henry, you stop that offense. So that's the key on D. But I don't have to worry about the D. Everything for me is all my worries are on the other side of the ball, you know. They have to figure out what their balance is going to be. It's going to be a whole new dynamic. You know, Stefanski's never really had to call any stretch of games without Chubb. He's out a game here or there. So this will be a new experience for him. But they got to figure out what their balance is going to be because you can't just pass. You have to still keep teams honest. And teams are going to stack the box against you because you haven't proven you can do anything through the air. So they have to navigate that. Everything is about getting Watson in a rhythm. If you get him in a rhythm, his muscle memory will take over. He's done this. That's the most frustrating thing is I watched every one of his 50 starts in Houston after they signed him. Man, it's there. He's got to get back to that. I don't mean he has to be that player, but just that familiar feeling, man, of just moving chains, keeping this offense just moving. I need 5 scoring drives. 3 of those can be field goals. I don't give a shit. If you can give me 5 scoring drives, Tennessee's not going to beat you, not with their offense. So it's about just trying to string some stuff together, man. They got to figure out what works. It's like a chemistry experiment at this point because I'm assuming that Jerome Ford sees at least 2/3 of the carries. Mm-hmm. Even if Kareem Hunt's signed today, I'm with Coltrane. I don't think you're relying on him heavily on Sunday this quick. So they have to figure out what their rotation is going to be and how to balance this offense to keep defenses honest. Those are the keys.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of Derrick Henry. That's what they do. I read somewhere it was like the magic number for Tennessee. If you hold them under 20 points, they never win. They score 20 points, their percentage goes up for them winning. So if the defense can hold them less than 20, and as you said, 5 scoring drives is 23 points right there with 3 field goals. I think the Browns are going to have to win this game via the pass because Mike Vrabel comes from that Belichick school. He's going to take away what you want to do and what you tend to do well. And if he knows that the offensive line prefers the run block versus pass block, he's going to try to take away that running game. And you don't have the Chubb where, there was plays last night where, Chubb and Ford was getting stuffed to the line a couple of times on those plays. Chubb would still get 6-7 yards on those plays. Like he just break through the line. And, you don't have that anymore. So I definitely think this is the week. If you're going to get Watson going, this is the week you got to get it going because you're playing a pass secondary that's, ranked in the bottom of the league. They haven't given up a ton of points, but they've given up a lot of yards. So I think if you're going to win this game, you're definitely going to need Watson to come out of his shell and get comfortable. And you're going to need to see somewhat of that Houston player that he had. I mean, if anything, just look like he knows what he's doing, like going through the progressions, throwing it away. When it's not there, take off. Like there was a play last night where he rolled out and he had like 10 yards in front of him and he chucked it to Elijah Moore and it got broken up and that was a 3rd down. Like I didn't understand why he didn't just run it. Like I think he's just got too many things going on in his head and he just needs to stop and just make the best play. That's all you got to do. Just take what's there. Take what the defense is giving you and move on and live to fight another day.
Yeah, that's why I need Stefanski to keep everything simple. They got to get Watson on autopilot because he's a winner. Get him on autopilot, man. Just get him that easy stuff. Get him, keep him up with the sticks, man. We don't need to be facing 3rd and 10s. 3rd and 2. That's what they need to be aiming for. So even if it's only 2-3 yards completions, man, you have playmakers. You went and got a player like Elijah Moore. Give me those 5-6 yard handoffs, man. Let's see the screen game. Let's really get creative in that effect, and that'll open up the explosive plays because that's what we're all gearing towards. We want this offense to be explosive. You can't just be explosive. Like you have to build that, and you have to earn the respect of the defense. Right now, defenses don't think they have to guard every blade of grass against you. Well, you got to go out there and take it, and they need. It's going to take small baby steps at first. They might have to condense the playbook for a few weeks just to keep it simple. But after you get Watson on rhythm, I think it opens everything up.
Yeah, I didn't see any bubble. They haven't done a lot of bubbles. I mean, Watson ran a lot of those in Houston. He's really good at getting it out to them. I think Stefanski needs to take the damn tight end screen out of his playbook because he loves to run it, and he damn near gets his tight end killed every time for 2 yards. Like, or run that screen with your running back. Like, there was none of that last night. I don't recall them running one running back screen. And you have a Pittsburgh defense that's aggressive and blitzes a lot. Like, it's the perfect thing. Like, that's basic fundamentals. Like, in high school, you learn that in high school. Like, when you want to get rid of the blitz, you run a couple running back screens or halfback screens a couple times every quarter. They'll stop it. But I don't know. I think it's a big game this week. You're going to learn a lot about this team. You know, are they going to fold and go home and lose, and then all of a sudden, then the doubts start creeping in. You start hearing rumblings. You know, is Stefanski the guy? Because at the end of the day, Stefanski is the easier one to replace than Watson. Like, you're married to Watson till at least through 2020.
Oh yeah, 5 years, 5-year contract.
Stefanski's going to be the one that you move on from. So I think this team needs a win really bad this week. You're at home. I think it sets up. You know, it's a winnable game. You should be able to win this game. And then
two at home. Two at home coming up.
2 in a row.
Two more.
And if you go 2-0, you go into your bye with the tied for the lead in the AFC North.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Then we have we're fine.
Yeah. Then you're back, and it's very similar to last year. You know, what happened to us after that Jets game? You kind of learn, like, is your team mentally tough, or are they going to fold? And I think this team's tougher mentally. I think the Chubb injury is going to rally these guys. You know, I saw things like, did you guys see the video where Zadarius Smith was talking about how Watson came up to him and apologized, and he was like, you don't have to apologize. But that right there shows that, you know, Watson's recognizing and understanding that it was his fault. Like, he's trying to take ownership. And I think that goes a long way. And I hope that it works to our favor this weekend for sure. Well, we got a few minutes left. We're going to get into our prediction time for this week. Casey, we're going to ask you to make some predictions too, since you're on with us here.
All right.
Myself, Jason, and Coltrane have a year-long bet going. The winner gets a Yard Dawgs Podcast trophy for the mantle. Last year, Jason won it. The last place finisher gets to choose the punishment or off of a Wheel of Destiny. So all this year, if we can pick 5 punishments for one of us to do at the end of the year, we'll do the Wheel of Destiny and pick it. Last year, Coltrane lost. He had to do the 1-chip challenge, but we're not doing the 1-chip challenge this year. There's been some bad incidents recently with that 1-chip challenge, so we're not putting anybody through that. So give us some fun, safe torture for the end of the year. So we're going to kick it off for game number 1. So right now the standings are Coltrane went 1-1 last week. You were the only one that had the Ravens. Me and Jason had the Bengals winning that, and you're at 4-1, and then me and Jason are at 3-2. So we're tied for last place right now. So we're going to kick it off for game number 1. Coltrane, I'm going to let you kick it off. Colts versus Ravens. Who you got?
Oh, it's easy. Ravens 32, Colts 17.
Okay. What about you, Casey?
Ratbirds probably 24, Colts 16.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then I'm going I'm gonna go 23-16 Ravens. And then game number 2.
What was Jason's pick? You got him?
He hasn't given me his picks yet, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Pick him, give him tomorrow. Rams versus Bengals, which I believe is the Sunday night game this week. It's a Super Bowl rematch. Who you got, Casey?
Is this in Cincinnati?
It is in Cincinnati. Yep.
They can't go 0-3, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Rams. I'll take the Rams 28, Bengals 21.
What about you, Coltrane?
Bengals, Rams, Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
I'll take the Rams. Burrow's not 100%.
Okay.
So I'll take the Rams over the advantage alone of Burrow's injury. We'll do Rams 24, Bengals 21.
Similar scores. I'm going to go Bengals in this one. I think they don't go 0-3, but I got a winning close one, 20-15. And then next game up is Pittsburgh and the Steelers at Las Vegas playing the Raiders. I'll start first on this one. I'm going to go Raiders 23, Steelers 21. Historically, for some reason, the last decade, the Raiders, no matter how good or bad they are, seem to have the Steelers number. So I'm going to say Steelers coming off a big win on Monday night, have a little bit of a letdown, and the Raiders get them 23-21. What about you, Coltrane?
Yeah, I'll say Raiders 28. Steelers, it's Matt Canada, 17.
How about you, Casey?
Puck Pittsburgh 24-13 Raiders.
All right. Then our game of the week, Browns, Titans. I'll let Casey kick this one off. It's Titans at Browns, actually.
Yeah, this is a must. This is a must win in front of the home fans. If there's any chance of moving past what happened last night, it's got to go down in the stadium. 24-17 Browns.
What about you, Coltrane?
I'm going to go Browns 28, Titans 17.
I got it a close one. I think the Browns will come out victorious. I think Dustin Hopkins is going to kick a game-winning field goal this week. Got the Browns winning 26-23.
The real D-Hop. There we go.
The real
D-Hops.
In fact, I forget that D-Hop is on the Titans. I haven't seen him do anything.
I watched him make a few catches, nothing big, just crossers. He's a possession receiver at this stage in his career. Especially for a team like the Titans who aren't overly explosive anyway.
Mm-hmm. And let's hope that Stefanski starts the game off. If you're going to start it off with a pass play this week, let's make sure you try to get Cooper involved, not Harrison Bryant. If you're going to dial up first play of the game, anyone but Harrison Bryant. Cooper, Moore, Goodwin, anybody. Just no Harrison Bryant.
If you go 5 wide, why is he on the field?
I don't know. Not especially when you have a guy like Cedric Tillman that you've drafted. Why is he not?
I'm saying,
was
man, that's rough. That's a rough play design. You had all week to come up with that, and he shit the bed.
Stefanski loves his damn tight ends, man. You don't need him on a 5 wide though. You're basically limiting. Go ahead, Coltrane.
Harrison got roasted or got toasted too few times by Watt, any of them D linemen, man. Did you guys see this one play? I saw it on Twitter. He one-handed just threw Bryant down to the ground. I mean, bro, this is Pittsburgh Browns, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is a rivalry game, dog. Clearly you didn't come to play today. That's what people were talking about who's to blame. He's definitely up there in my list, guys. I'm sorry. That play doesn't happen at the beginning of the game. Maybe it's a whole different outcome. That's the crazy thing about football. That was not on Watson, dude. That was on Bryant, that first play, man. So, yeah, if I could see a lot less of him, I'll look forward to the Titans game because I would rather see Akins and Njoku. And even Njoku these days, what is he, just blocking? What are we doing with – we're not doing nothing with him. I I'm so dumbfounded with the offense of Stefanski these last 2 games. I am, fellas. It is simplified. It is what TJ Watt's saying. It is predictable. But like they're not even. I guess my point. They're not even moving the ball around. You know.
No, it's been a struggle for sure. So, and Harrison Bryant, I'll close with this one. Harrison Bryant. I always like it on my team. Like, give me a guy. You guys remember Jermaine Wiggins he was on the Patriots. Like he wasn't a premier pass catcher, but he was a big ass run blocking tight end. Like your third tight end should be your big ass run blocker that you can put in there on run blocking situations.
Literally.
You could line him up at fullback. Like we have Nick Harris lining up at fullback right now at times.
Yeah.
Like Harrison Bryant, like he doesn't catch the ball well. He's not especially fast. He's not a good run blocker. Sometimes I'm like, what? Why are you here? Why are you?
What
here?
is it that you do here?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Right? I got to reach out to the guys, or the guys in Office Space, and say, what would you say that you do here? Well, final thoughts as we head into Tennessee week this week, guys. Thanks again for joining us, Casey. What are your final thoughts tonight?
Don't get too up, don't get too down, man. It's one game. You're 1-1. Everything's still in front of you. You got 2 games before the bye. If you nail those both down, you're going to go into the bye with the least tied for the lead in the AFC North. So all is not lost.
Final thoughts, Coltrane?
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, this next game is literally, in my opinion, like a preview of our season, because you guys literally said it, early on the show. You're at a crossroads, man. You're literally at a crossroads where it's like one way is the fans are all happy, we're praising we're jumping in the streets after the game's over, or it's the other way where it's like hello sadness, darkness my friend. You're going to the dark and you're in a closet. You're thinking about Chubb. You're thinking about the outcome of it. Stefanski still sucks. So it's like literally you're at a crossroads of how much a win could mean for this fan base at home. I don't know about you guys. I would rather stack a win when playing the Ravens week 4 than not have that win. You get what I'm saying? Like it could get real bad real fast. So in my opinion, and I'm going to say that, I'll leave that with the show, it's a must win. For me, it's definitely a must win. You have to protect the house. You have to take advantage of those shitty corners, and you have to just Watson. You have to, again, my dude. They're coming for you with the pitchforks and the fire, my guy. You got to make it happen, baby. You got to do something this week, baby. So we need it.
Sure. Well, final thoughts for me is the road to 16-1 starts this Sunday. It's a good thing about football is usually a game the next week. You can get that stench off. So the road to 16-1 starts this week. Jason likes to close all the shows with "Let's Go Browns." So on a count of 3, guys, 1, 2, 3.
Let's go Browns.
Browns.